They say Rome wasn't built in a day. What they don't tell you is how long it took to build the damn thing. There's no wood. I know what I did. I have to leave this game. And I have to start again. Hear me out. What? Oh, F me. It's because of the season. I know what I did wrong last time. We know what to do now. So now it becomes easier. I restarted this game 39 times in 10 hours of gameplay. Every single time I learned something new. I learned how to make food. I learned how to build Scriptoria. I learned how to fish. I learned how to make dinari. I learned how to farm. I learned how to buy... what's a word for people who are bought and then you can make them do whatever you want? I'm not quite getting a word for it. Anyway, these people. Every single detail in this game screams ancient Rome, and I'm here for it. We are all here for it. Now imagine a game like this that is literally so historically accurate, so brilliant, and the graphics are top-notch, all made by just one developer. His name is Roger Gasman. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. One person who loves Roman history so much that he decided to make a game that was literally a walk through the history of Rome. I salute you. Wait, wasn't Roman salutations more like a straight... But he was influenced by another game, the same way I was. And kids, if your mommy or your daddy has a history of playing Roman games, it probably came from something called Caesar 1, 2 or 3. I'm going to run you through Caesar 3 because that's something that influenced me the most. 1998 was a special time in human history. Nokia was at its peak, Apple released the iMac, and the President of America just found out that you can't get a GOG 3000 from an intern. But there was one more beautiful thing that happened. Sierra released Caesar 3. Obviously a follow-up of Caesar 1 and Caesar 2, but Caesar 3 introduced so many more things besides amazing graphics for the time. You were in charge of Rome. You had to impress the gods. You had to keep people happy. You had to become Caesar. And it was good. You could spend hours on this game and you wouldn't feel time move. By the time you figured out how to get and sell marble, the earth went around the sun 5 times. By the time you threw a festival, your beard grew an inch. It was a magical game that took away years of your life, and it was worth every second of it. But the game lacked so many things, and it could only be attributed to...
I'm limited by the technology of my time. But one day you'll figure this out. And when you do, you will change the world.
So we waited, and while we got other games like Caesar 4 or Pharaoh, which were good games, no hate here, they didn't go the extra step. And if you love Caesar 4, Caesar 3 and Pharaoh just like me, I request you to please wait until the end of this video. Because the one thing that was missing was historical accuracy. I'm talking about things that would get you cancelled in 2025. You could piss off a god, but not buy a slave to build a temple. You could build a well for water, but you couldn't fleece the local tribes for money and food. And my most favorite part of this game that makes it so Roman. If you wanted to run for office, you had to bribe the governor. Bringing corruption into a game of Roman building is accurate AF. These are just some of the things that make the game shine. And from here, I'm going to give you my 10-hour review of Pax Augusta. Augusta. Roger, if you're watching this, could you let me know how to pronounce the game? Thanks. I went through the career mode instead of the sandbox. I don't do tutorials.
We don't do that here.
In the beginning, you learn about the basics that are needed. Water, a necropolis, which should be built far away, and a market. You start wondering where food is going to come from, so you try to increase your population to get to the point of building a fisherman's house, aka a food source. That's where I ran out of dinari, because I didn't build city roads and no one wanted to move in because there was no food. And I had to restart. In hour 2, I realized what Scriptoria is and how to build squares. These tiles are used to pull up your city's reputation and yours. It helps you run for office and pretty much impresses cities around you. This is also where I realized that you have 4 kinds of citizens. So limit the number of people in each to what is required. Focus on keeping them happy. And that is something I did not do, so I had to restart. Here I found that I can attach gardens and outhouses to houses I build. This helps people generate food and denarii, which really helps you when you want to control the population of each set of people. You see, it helps you get more food and money without the need of producing more people, which would have a requirement of more food. But then again, you need to be careful about how much land you use for it, because it takes up a lot of land and then you can't build warehouses. And that's where I got stuck. So I had to restart. In hour 4, I realized it's not just resources like wood and marble. You need slaves for temples. Now you have to build slaves markets and cages to hold them in. And the more slaves you want, the more cages are needed. But I realized late that you need a merchant road. You see, without a merchant or a trade road, traders won't enter your city. And if traders don't enter your city, that means no trade, no slaves. And of course, I ran out of money. So I had to... Here I realized there is more than just one place to start the career mode. Look for these pillars and begin. Particularly, I love the one near the river because the fishing and port creation is easy. But it is a small map. And because it's a small map, eventually you run out of space. So I had... Something that I forgot to mention a lot more earlier. When you start the game, you have an explorer called a Vtory Explorer. You have to move him around to explore and find different useful spots. Like fishing spots, you have to move him to the river, you have to move him to the stream for a water resource, and you move him to the locals to fleece them off money or food, and that small amount helps you a lot. Sometimes you might ask them to disappear, and that will cost you the resource, and if you ask them to disappear too early, you won't get the food or the denarii that they can provide. So you have... In hour 7, it was just me admiring the people and their homes, people in slave camps, people in markets, politicians, my school, people carrying a dead body. And then there was this bull who started dancing on the road. And why was I admiring these people? Because I didn't know that you have to build a toll house in order to start trading. I needed to trade to get marble. I needed marble for Scriptory, and I had more expenses than income. And that's where I realized I should not be in administration. Before the 8th hour, I had woken up with a dream. I had this blueprint of a city that came to me. It was magical. I loved it. I knew how to build this city. I had the layout in my head. I thought of doing squares. Now you have a town center. It's your shrine and it has a boundary. Houses in that boundary tend to grow faster. They also need city roads. And there are better houses which have better class of citizens. These citizens have more requirements like an arena or a restaurant or even a temple which needs marble, which I did not have because I could not build within the circle because... Here I ran out of food because I had just realized that snow and rain can kill your crops and make your food supply zero. In hour 10, I figured it out. It's a slow game and it needs a little bit of thinking. You need to keep everything in check. So here's what I figured out. If your denarii, if your food and the number of people and pretty much everything is just like... If you need people to grow and you need 10 food, make 10 food, don't make 50 food. So get your denarii. If you need like 50 denarii income to match your expenses and have surplus, get that 50 denarii. Don't overcreate for, creating a wood supply or a wood warehouse. Warehouses cost you denarii to operate, to function, especially marble warehouses, your toll gates. Don't create them just because you want them. Create them because you need it. And make sure you can support it. But you know what? After all of this, I realized something. I could play this game 100 times more, restarting it over and over, learning to add one more new thing every time, and I would not be disappointed. So, dear Roger, if you are watching this video, please add more features. You are on the right track. Just promise me you will not become EA or Blizzard and charge me money or make me get a battle pass just to build a coliseum. That being said, here are my added thoughts. First, I would like to be able to grow trees. This way I can make my city more beautiful, more decorations for my streets. Number 2 is a prison and people protesting. That's missing. There seems to be only a fire that can be cured because the fire department, or maybe I've missed something. Third is more spaces to build wood shops. There are only specific sections where I can build lumberjacks. I think like if there are trees, I should be able to make more. And maybe you can create something where, trees are allowed to grow, or I can enforce trees to grow, like making a like a forest area kind of a thing, like a declared forest area by the Caesar, something like that. And I know that Roman time is too ancient to talk about terrain changes, like flattening land, adding more water, but I think it can be done. I would like a stream to go through my city. I would like people, like, maybe I can get slaves to like dig streams through my cities, or maybe I can get them to plant trees in my entire city. It would look more beautiful, because having to unlock those foggy areas, it's very important. I need to grow my empire, and I think more space is a requirement. And most importantly, the shrine, the city center, the radius for which houses can be built within, I definitely think there has to be a way to increase that, either by having quests, or your population reaching a certain level, or you have a certain amount of people, or you're through the career mode. Maybe I haven't reached there yet, and maybe I'm talking too soon because this is just a 10-hour review. But if it's not there, maybe you could give it a thought. And lastly, one thing that I really thought will make a difference is the trade houses. I'm able to trade wood for food. I'm able to trade food for marble. I'm able to trade commodity for commodity. I'm not able to trade a commodity for denarii. I would need the port authority to come in there. I think having the ability to trade in a warehouse in the start itself would allow me to avoid making a lot of mistakes, because I would have the denarii. I could make more food production in my empire and sell it and make food at an early stage, helping me build a bigger empire. I could turn my empire into a McDonald's and just sell to all the neighboring kingdoms. I think that would be something to think about. But other than that, I honestly love this game. It has taken quite a bit of my time. I'm still playing it, and I will continue to play it until I'm able to finish the career mode. And if you love Caesar 3 and Pharaoh, honestly, I think this is a game you should try out. Granted, it's not glamorous, it's not bright, it's not colorful. It is Rome, the way Rome was thought to be. I love it. So Roger, I wish you good luck. I hope you get a team that grows with your vision. And most importantly, as the Romans did, I salute you.